Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jazzy RN. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, welcome back. The goal of my channel is to help nurses pivot from the bedside to remote work. I have worked remotely as a nurse for over 9 years, and I've worked for 3 different companies, and I work in utilization management, also known as utilization review. This first company is called Providence, and they're hiring a clinical program manager. This is RN remote days. It is a full-time position. I always go straight to the qualifications for the job before applying. This job requires you to have associate's or bachelor's degree in nursing. They also want you to have a California RN license upon hire. This job does require 3 years of experience in utilization management and experience working with interqual and MCG guidelines. Now, just an FYI about MCG and interqual guidelines, if you don't have experience, you can actually get a certification through MCG or interqual. So if you go to the description box below, you'll see a link. It will take you here, and if you click on resume tips, the screen will pop up with resume tips regarding adding platforms, how to write your resume, an example of what it should look like. It should be what you did, why it's important, and how it relates to the job you want, as well as a template. Just make sure your current job is in present tense and your previous jobs are in past tense. And if you scroll down towards the bottom, it will show you 2 links. You cannot actually click on these links, but if you just type in interqual certification in Google or MCG certification in Google, it will bring you to these sites. And these are the options you have to get experience or certification using interqual or MCG. The next company is with the Cancer Center of South Florida, and they're hiring an oncology triage RN. This job is fully remote, and the essential responsibilities are including triage incoming calls from patients and physician offices. So this is a phone-intensive position. The requirements are an associate's degree in nursing or a BSN from an accredited nursing program is required. At least 1 to 2 years of oncology or infusion nursing experience preferred. They do require you to have a current RN license in the state you live in. An oncology certified nurse certificate is preferred, and BLS certification is preferred. Some companies require you to have BLS even if you're remote. I have no idea what is the rationale behind that, but that just is what it is. And they also they want you to have solid understanding of oncology and hematology conditions, treatments, and symptom management, proficient in clinical triage protocols, including assessing symptom severity and guiding appropriate care pathways, and knowledge of HIPAA regulations and documentation standards in electronic health records such as Epic. And just a FYI, just make sure you also include any software or platforms you're familiar with. If you go back to the resume tips that I have on this website, if you scroll up, you'll see right here where it says add platforms to your resume. So if you know Epic, Microsoft Office, Cerner, Protouch, if there's any additional platforms or software you know from the job that you currently work or previous jobs, make sure you add that. That makes you look more tech savvy. The next company, this is with Gallagher Bassett. They're looking for a liability nurse consultant. The salary range is $64,000 to $96,000. This is a fully remote worker position. The qualifications for this job is a BSN or equivalent. You must have an RN license, a minimum of 3 years clinical nursing experience. That's basically just bedside experience. Must have proficient knowledge of medical malpractice and personal injury law, strong knowledge of medical terminology, healthcare regulations, and legal procedures. Excellent research and analytical skills with the ability to interpret complex medical information and apply it to legal cases. Proficient in using medical research databases, electronic medical record systems, and legal research tools. Excellent written and verbal communication skills with the ability to effectively communicate complex medical concepts to claims handling professionals, attorneys, and other team members. Proficient in using Microsoft Office Suite, that includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and legal case management software. Strong analytical and interpretive skills, and the ability to create and complete comprehensive, accurate, and constructive written reports. The next company is with Illumifin, and they're hiring a telephonic interviewer. This is for LPNs, and this is a remote position. The requirements include a valid and current LPN license. Of course, you must have your high school diploma. You must be proficient in basic computer software with the ability to troubleshoot basic computer issues, including Microsoft Office Suite. Make sure your resume does include Microsoft Office Suite on your resume, and you don't want to have Microsoft 365. You want the same wording on the job description to match your resume. Must type at least 40 words per minute. Basic functional math skills. Performs work accurately and effectively under deadline pressures. Heavy telephone contact with both customers and internal company staff, and heavy keyboard and computer use. The next position is also with Illumifin, and they are hiring a care manager. This is for LTC claims. This is for an RN or an LSW, social worker. So you must have an RN license or social worker license, 3 years work experience with the older adult population, intermediate level experience with Microsoft Office products, required to uphold the principles and compliance as outlined in the Code of Conduct, Employee Handbook, and related policies and procedures, supports and participates in a mandatory corporate compliance program, training initiative, and on an annual or more frequent basis as required. They do prefer you to have care planning experience with insurance contract interpretation preferred, excellent verbal and written communication skills, and for lead level, a minimum of 1 year experience with long-term care insurance, care management. And the compensation for this job starts at $60,000.